In the heart of the ancient African kingdom of Zandoria, nestled between majestic mountains and lush valleys, the Festival of the People was an event of unparalleled splendor. Held once every decade, the festival was a time when the men and women, both young and old, come out to display their talents and strength amongst themselves. It was a celebration of life, prosperity, and the divine connection of the people of Zandoria, with the scent of incense and the skies filled with vibrant colors from countless fireworks. The kingdom of Zandoria believed in the worship of gods. Every decade, the Festival of the Gods was an event of splendor when the gods were believed to walk among mortals. Princess Amara, daughter of King Arukwe, was the jewel of Zandoria. With her radiant beauty, wisdom beyond her years, and a heart full of compassion, she was beloved by all. Her long flowing hair shimmered like the midnight sky, and her eyes sparkled with a light that seemed to come from the stars themselves. As the Festival of the People approached, Amara felt a strange anticipation in her heart, a feeling she could not quite understand. Among the pantheon of Zandorian gods, the god of the wind, Ikenga, was the most elusive. He was a deity of immense power, capable of stirring the fiercest storms and calming the gentlest breezes. On the eve of the festival, Ikenga descended to witness the mortal celebration. Disguised as a humble traveler, he roamed the streets of Zandoria, marveling at the festivities and the joy that filled the air. As Amara walked through the busy streets of Zandoria with her maidens, the air was filled with laughter, music, and excitement for the coming festival. The sun was setting, casting a warm golden light over the village. Amara noticed a man standing under a large tree at the side of the road. He was dressed differently from the people of Zandoria, his attire very different from the people's attire. His handsome face and calm look caught her attention. Curious to know who he was, Amara approached him with her maidens close behind. "Good evening, stranger," she said with a smile. "You seem new in our village. May I know your name?" The man looked up and met her eyes, making her heart skip a beat. "Good evening, princess," he said in a calm voice. "My name is Ike, and I am a traveler from far away." "From far away?" Amara asked. "What brings you to Zandoria?" "I've heard stories of your village's beauty and the grand festival," he replied mysteriously. "I wanted to see it for myself." Amara's eyes lit up with excitement. "You must join us for the festival tomorrow. It is a wonderful celebration." Ike smiled gently. "I would be honored to attend, princess." Amara felt a strange but pleasant connection with this mysterious traveler. "I'm Amara, the Princess of Zandoria," she introduced herself. "I hope to see you there tomorrow." "I look forward to it, Princess Amara," Ike replied. Amara turned to leave, her maidens following her. The Festival of the People was one of the most anticipated events in Zandoria. It was a time for the young to showcase their talents in dance and strength in wrestling, bringing the whole village together in celebration. The festival grounds were alive with music, laughter, and the vibrant energy of the youth. Amara, adorned in a beautiful gown, her hair braided with flowers, was the center of attention as the princess. Yet her mind was elsewhere. She searched the crowd, looking for the mysterious traveler, Ike. Despite the festivities around her, her heart yearned for the calm and intriguing presence of the man she had met. As the dances began and the young men displayed their wrestling skills, Amara's eyes continued to search the gathering. Then, from a distance, she spotted him. Ike stood apart from the crowd, near the edge of the festival grounds, his eyes fixed on her with a gentle smile. He seemed out of place, yet perfectly at ease, his presence commanding her attention. Without hesitation, Amara excused herself from her parents' side, ignoring the curious glances of the villagers. She made her way through the crowd, her heart pounding with each step. The music and cheers of the festival faded into the background as she focused on reaching Ike. When she finally stood before him, a wave of relief and joy washed over her. "I was looking for you," she said. Concerned about being seen together, Ike urged her to leave, fearing the consequences of their encounter being discovered. Despite his warnings, the princess refused to leave, expressing her desire to be with him. Reluctantly, Ike left her there to avoid drawing attention, but the princess hesitated and chased after him. They found a quiet spot away from the bustling festival, under the shade of a large tree. Ike had no other choice than to indulge the princess. As they talked, laughed, and shared stories, they enjoyed each other's company. Ike, captivated by Amara's beauty and kindness, wished the day shouldn't come to an end. Her presence was satisfying. He wished he could forever be immortal so he could see the princess every day. Amara, too, felt an inexplicable connection, a pull towards the mysterious traveler that she could not resist. They spent the rest of the festival together, not noticing how much time has gone. Amara bade him goodbye and set to go. The final night of the festival was supposed to be a time of joy and celebration, everyone partying, eating, and drinking. As the festivities reached their peak under the light of the full moon, a sudden disturbance erupted in the crowd. At first it was just a murmur, a ripple of unease that spread through the gathered villagers like wildfire. But soon the murmurs turned to shouts of panic as chaos descended upon the festival grounds. The sky covered with red, people pushed and shoved, trying to flee from some unseen threat, their cries of fear echoing in the night air. Amara, caught in the midst of the chaos, felt a sense of dread wash over her. She looked around desperately, trying to make sense of what was happening, but all she could see were panicked faces and the flickering lights of torches as people scrambled to escape. In the midst of the turmoil, the chief priest of the land, a wise and revered elder, stepped forward, his voice booming above the din. "People of Zandoria, calm yourselves," he called out, his words carrying the weight of authority. "Let us call upon the gods to help us in our time of need." With that, the chief priest raised his arms to the sky, calling upon the god of the wind, Ikenga, to come to their aid. Reciting some incantations, hoping that the deity would hear their pleas and calm the chaos that threatened to engulf them. Meanwhile, Ikenga, who had been watching the events unfold from the outskirts of the festival grounds, felt a pang of fear grip his heart. He knew that he had to act quickly to prevent further harm from coming to the villagers, but he also knew that revealing his true identity to them could have unforeseen consequences. Turning to Amara, who stood by his side, wide-eyed and trembling with fear, Ikenga knew that he had to find a way to calm the situation without revealing himself as the god of the wind. With a heavy heart, he found an excuse to leave her side, promising to return soon. Alone in the shadows, Ikenga closed his eyes and concentrated, calling upon the power of the wind to do his bidding. In an instant, he transformed into his true, terrifying form, a being of immense power and authority. With a mighty gust of wind, he swept through the festival grounds, his presence commanding attention and instilling a sense of awe and reverence in the villagers. As Ikenga worked tirelessly to restore order to the festival, Amara watched from a distance, her heart filled with a mixture of fear and admiration for the god who had come to their aid. After what seemed like an eternity, the chaos began to subside, thanks to Ikenga's intervention. The villagers, still shaken but grateful for his assistance, looked to the chief priest for guidance. With a solemn expression, the chief priest stepped forward once more, addressing the gathered crowd. "People of Zandoria," he began, his voice echoing in the night air, "we have been blessed by the god of the wind, Ikenga, who has come to our aid in our time of need." The villagers murmured in awe and gratitude, their eyes turning to the spot where Ikenga had stood moments before. But to their surprise, he was nowhere to be found. Amara, who had been anxiously watching from the sidelines, felt a sense of relief wash over her as she realized that the danger had passed. But her relief was short-lived, as she suddenly felt a presence behind her. Turning, she found herself face to face with Ike. She smiled at him as she joyfully shared with him how the god of wind calmed the situation in his absence. Days passed, and Amara's heart grew heavy with worry as she hadn't seen Ikenga after the festival. She continued to search for Ike. Despite her efforts, she had seen no sign of him since the festival. Desperate to find him, she ventured alone to the spot where she had first encountered him, hoping against hope that he would be there. As she approached the place, her heart skipped a beat when she spotted Ike standing in the very spot where she had first seen him. Relief flooded through her, and without hesitation, she rushed towards him, her with loads of excitement. "Ike!" she exclaimed, throwing her arms around him in a tight embrace. "I've been looking for you everywhere. Where have you been?" Ike's expression was unreadable as he looked at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and hesitation. "Amara, he began, his voice trailing off as he struggled to find the right words. But before he could say anything more, Amara poured out her feelings, confessing her love for him and pleading with him to explain why he had been avoiding her. Ike's resolve wavered as he watched Amara's distress, his own heart aching at the thought of causing her pain. Taking a deep breath, he knew that he could no longer keep his secret from her. "Amara," he said, "there's something you need to know." As Amara listened to Ike's words, her heart pounded in her chest with a mixture of fear and anticipation. "Ike, what is it?" "Please tell me," she said. Ike began with a trembling voice. "Amara, I'm not who you think I am." Confusion clouded Amara. "What do you mean?" she asked. Ike took a deep breath. "Amara, I'm not just an ordinary man. I'm not human." Amara's eyes widened in shock as Ike's words sank in. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "What do you mean you're not human?" she asked, her voice trembling with fear. Ike took a step closer to her, his expression pained. "I'm a spirit. I am Ikenga, the god of the wind," he admitted. "A being from another realm." Amara's mind reeled with disbelief as she struggled to comprehend Ike's confession. She had never imagined that the man she had fallen in love with could be anything other than human. "Ike, she began, her voice choked with emotion. "I don't understand." But before she could say anything more, Ike interrupted her. "Amara, I know this is hard to accept, but I can't change who I am." Tears welled up in Amara's eyes as she realized the truth of Ike's words. She had fallen in love with a being from another world, a being who could never truly be hers. "Ike, please," she whispered, her voice breaking with emotion. "Show me your true form. I want to see who you really are." Ike hesitated for a moment, his eyes filled with sadness. But then, with a resigned sigh, he nodded slowly. "Very well, but not here. Meet me tonight, under the light of the full moon, and I will show you everything." As the moon rose high in the sky, casting a silver glow over the village of Zandoria, Amara made her way to the clearing where she had first met Ike. Her heart pounded with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. She knew that tonight would change everything, but she was determined to face whatever truths lay ahead. When she arrived, Ikenga was already there, standing in the center of the clearing, backing her. Taking a deep breath, Amara stepped forward, her voice trembling as she called out to him. "Ike, I'm here," she said. Ike turned to face her, his eyes glowing with an ethereal light. "Amara," he replied, his voice filled with a mixture of hope and fear. "Are you sure you want to see this?" Amara nodded, her resolve firm. "Yes, Ike, I need to know the truth." With a deep breath, Ike closed his eyes, and a ripple of energy surged through the air. As Amara watched, his form began to shift and change, his human appearance melting away to reveal his true self. Before her stood Ikenga, the god of the winds, his presence both majestic and terrifying. Amara gasped, her heart pounding in her chest. Ikenga's true form was terrifying, with eyes that glowed like molten gold. Despite her initial fear, Amara felt a deep sense of recognition and understanding. "Ikenga," she whispered, "this is who you really are?" Ikenga nodded. "Yes, Amara, this is my true form. Now that you know, do you still love me?" Amara took a step closer, her eyes filled with determination. "Ikenga, I love you by day, and I will love you by night," she declared. "Our love will conquer all." A wave of relief washed over Ikenga as he heard her words. "My princess, please don't do this to yourself," he pleaded. "Being with me means facing dangers and challenges you can't even imagine." But Amara was determined. I don't care, Ikenga. I love you, and I want to be with you, no matter what. Ikenga's heart swelled with love and admiration for Amara. He knew that their path would be fraught with difficulties, but he could not deny the strength of their bond. From that night on, they met often during the day, cherishing their time together. As their relationship deepened, Amara knew she could no longer keep her love for Ikenga a secret. She decided to tell her father, the king, about her love interest. With a mixture of fear and determination, she approached her father in the grand hall of their palace. "Father," she began, her voice trembling slightly, "there is something I need to tell you." The king looked at her with a mixture of curiosity and concern. "What is it, my beautiful princess?" Taking a deep breath, Amara steeled herself. "I have fallen in love, father. His name is Ike, but his true name is Ikenga. He is not just any man, he is the god of the winds." The king's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. "Amara, do you understand what you are saying? A god? How can this be?" Amara nodded. "I know it sounds unbelievable, but it is the truth. Ikenga revealed his true form to me, and despite his divine nature, I love him with all my heart." The king's face darkened with concern. "Amara, this is a dangerous path you are choosing. Gods and mortals are not meant to be together. The consequences could be severe." "I understand the risks, father," Amara replied, "but I cannot deny my love for Ikenga. He has promised to protect me and our people. He has always brought peace and prosperity to Zandoria." The king sighed. "Amara, my dear daughter, you are asking for a life filled with uncertainty and danger. Are you truly prepared for that?" Amara's eyes shone with determination. "Yes, father. I am prepared to face whatever challenges come our way, as long as I can be with Ikenga." Seeing the resolve in his daughter's eyes, the king knew that he could not dissuade her. With a heavy heart, he nodded. "Very well, Amara. If this is truly what you desire, then I will support you. But know that I will always be here to protect you, no matter what." Tears of gratitude filled Amara's eyes. "Thank you, father. Your support means everything to me." Amara and Ikenga decided to get married. The wedding of Amara and Ikenga was a celebration unlike any other in the history of Zandoria. The entire village gathered to witness the union of their beloved princess with the enigmatic god. The festivities lasted for days, filled with music, dance, and feasting. The villagers, who had initially been skeptical of Amara's choice, came to embrace Ikenga, recognizing the love and devotion he had for their princess and the blessings he brought to their land. As the final night of the wedding celebrations drew to a close, Amara and Ikenga retired to their private chambers. The room was adorned with flowers and illuminated by the soft glow of candlelight. Amara's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She had waited for this moment, the culmination of their love and commitment to each other. Taking a deep breath, Ikenga smiled, his love for Amara evident in his gaze. He took her hand and kissed it gently. "My beloved Amara, you are more beautiful than the moon and stars," he whispered. As they moved closer to each other, ready to consummate their marriage, a strange sensation filled the room. Amara could feel a powerful energy surrounding them, and she watched in awe as a transformation began to take place. She had expected Ikenga to revert to his night form, a visage she had grown to love despite its initial fearfulness. But to her astonishment, Ikenga's appearance did not change. Instead, the god who stood before her remained as handsome and radiant as he was during the day. His features, which had been so fearsome at night, now retained their daytime beauty and grace. Amara gasped, her eyes wide with amazement. "Ikenga, you haven't changed. You are still as handsome as you were in the daylight." Ikenga looked down at himself, equally surprised by the transformation. He touched his face, his expression a mixture of wonder and disbelief. "Amara, what has happened? Why have I not changed?" Amara's eyes filled with tears of joy as she realized the significance of the moment. "Our marriage, Ikenga, the love and commitment we share have broken the barrier between your divine and mortal forms. You are now whole, both day and night." Tears streamed down Ikenga's face as he embraced Amara. "My love for you is so powerful that it has transformed me," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "You have given me a gift beyond measure, Amara." Amara smiled, her heart swelling with happiness. "We have given each other this gift, Ikenga. Our love has conquered all." As they held each other, the room seemed to glow with a divine light. That night, they became one in every sense, their love uniting them in ways that neither had ever imagined possible. News of the miraculous transformation quickly spread throughout Zandoria. The villagers were in awe of the power of love and the divine blessing that had been bestowed upon their princess and her godly husband. The marriage of Amara and Ikenga became a symbol of hope and unity for all. In the days that followed, Ikenga continued to bless the land with his presence. The people of Zandoria prospered, their lives filled with abundance and joy. Ikenga, now able to maintain his handsome form both day and night, walked among the villagers, offering his wisdom and protection. Amara, too, found her role as princess and wife to be deeply fulfilling. She worked alongside Ikenga, helping to guide their people and ensure the prosperity of their kingdom. Their love story became a legend, told and retold by the villagers as a reminder of the power of love and the importance of acceptance. One evening, as the sun set and the sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, Amara and Ikenga stood on a hill overlooking their kingdom. Hand in hand, they watched as the village below bustled with life and happiness. "Our love has brought so much joy and prosperity to Zandoria," Amara said, her voice filled with contentment. Ikenga nodded, his eyes shining with pride. "Yes, my beloved. Together, we have created a legacy that will endure for generations." As they stood there, the wind gently caressed their faces, a reminder of the divine presence that had brought them together. They knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, their love would continue to guide and protect them. Years passed, and the story of Amara and Ikenga became an integral part of Zandorian culture. Their children, born of both mortal and divine lineage, grew up hearing the tales of their parents' love and bravery. They, too, carried the legacy of their family's extraordinary bond. The villagers continued to celebrate the festival of young men and maidens with great fervor, honoring the love story that had transformed their land. Each year, the festival served as a reminder of the power of love, unity, and the blessings that come from embracing both the mortal and the divine. Their love for each other remained as strong as ever, a guiding light for their people. In the heart of Zandoria, where the winds whispered tales of old and the land thrived under the watchful eyes of its rulers, the legacy of Amara and Ikenga lived on. It was a legacy built on love, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a mortal princess and a god of the winds. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.